Fitness My Way.
We're going to talk about diet foods, specifically the foods for fat loss. When you do your cardio, whether it be on a treadmill, cycling, group fitness, whatever, you're definitely burning calories. Agreed? Unfortunately, most of the population is not burning fat calories. Watch this video all the way through and I'll prove that to you. My name's Michelle Pinio. I'm a personal and group fitness trainer as well as a sport nutrition specialist. I'm also the owner of the Fitness My Way application and creator of the Fat Shred Revolution Intense Training Program. Today we're going to cover how most of the population's thought process is when it comes to diet foods and why it's incorrect, what diet foods will help weight loss, when to eat those foods, and what types of foods you should avoid. For the most part, when people are thinking about diet foods, they're thinking about foods usually low in fat, right? What if I was to tell you that that was completely backwards? If you eat a diet high in healthy fats, you will actually burn more fat. It sounds crazy, right? Just hear me out. Generally, a high carbohydrate and low fat diet reduces fat oxidation. A high fat and low carbohydrate diet will increase fat oxidation. Now, why is that? So the way that your body works is pretty much whatever macronutrient, which is carbs, fats, proteins, and water, that you deprive your body of, then that's what it's going to retain. And then on the other hand, whatever form of energy that you feed your body is generally what it's going to burn when you do your exercise. Depending on intensity, of course, but that's a different conversation. But it's much like in the same way that if you're dehydrated, your body is actually going to retain water. It's a form of survival. That's what it's supposed to do. So carbohydrates and fats are always oxidized together. But we can make carbohydrates or fats the predominant fuel source. With different actions like exercise intensity, like I said before, exercise duration, the level of aerobic fitness that you have, your diet, and eating carbohydrates right before you exercise. So to break that down, this is what happens. So when you go to sleep at night, your body actually goes through a form of fasting because you're not eating and you're sleeping, right? When you wake up, your body is actually in ketosis. What is ketosis? It means that your body is very low on glucose, which is made from carbohydrates, and it's low because pretty much your body ate it while you were sleeping. Maybe only 20% of glucose is actually left in your body when you wake up. That's why you actually have bad breath in the morning, or there's actually a really strong urine smell. I know that's bad, but this is actually a sign of a healthy metabolism. So you might be wondering why you need to know this. Because you can use it to your advantage. What you eat for breakfast is very important because it has serious effects of what your results are going to be from your workout. If you eat carbohydrates for breakfast, insulin levels will then be very high and fatty acids and glycerol levels will be very low. Insulin actually inhibits what's called lipolysis, which is the breakdown of triglycerides to fatty acids. Your body needs to break down those triglycerides and turn them into fatty acids in order to actually transport the fat out of your body and burn them for fuel. There was actually a study performed in 1999 that proved this theory. Carbohydrates were eaten 1 hour before exercise. Both lipolysis, which is the breakdown of the triglycerides to fatty acids, remember, and fat oxidation was reduced, and plasma fatty acid concentrations decreased to very low levels while exercising. This study actually resulted in a 30% reduction in fat oxidation compared to when no carbohydrates were ingested. This proved that reduced availability of fatty acids absolutely limits fat oxidation, which is your fat burn. Now, if you flip the coin over, evidence suggests that if there's actually an increase in fatty acids in the bloodstream, there will be a decrease in muscle glycogen breakdown, which is your carbohydrates. Therefore, you're burning way more fat for fuel, right? If it stops breaking down those carbohydrates and burning more fat, that's definitely what we want. Now, the results seen in most studies are actually the after effects from the last ingested meal. A 3 to 4 day alteration in your diet is actually an insufficient amount of time for your body to respond. Switching to a high-fat diet over a longer period of time will increase how much fat is actually burned for energy. Now, like I said before, exercise duration and intensity are also big determining factors of if you're actually burning fat or carbohydrates in your workouts, but we'll talk about that next time. So you remember when you go to sleep and your brain eats all the carbohydrates in your body? You use that to your advantage, like I said before. So when you wake up in the morning, make it a point to actually eat like a lot of healthy fats and no carbohydrates, and then you go and do your cardio. And this is how you force your body to actually burn fat instead of carbohydrates. But do keep in mind that all fats are not created equal. You don't want to fill up on saturated fats. Healthy fats are things like eggs, right? But eat the yolk because that's the actual fat, like avocados. Any kinds of nuts and seeds, also oils. And coconut oil is actually better than olive oil. But make sure to not eat like any toast or like fruit juice, anything like that. Nothing with carbohydrates. But don't go crazy with the amount of fats that you're eating either, because they are really high in calories, okay? They actually have 9 calories per gram, and that's actually more than double what proteins and carbohydrates are, because that's only 4 calories per gram. So for example, on the days that I'm doing like only cardio and not strength training, I will eat like 2 eggs and like 1/4 of an avocado for breakfast. Most of us believe that eating high amounts of fats is associated with cardiovascular disease and obesity, and this is true, but for sedentary people. With regular exercise or endurance training, these risks are not likely. Now, I don't recommend a diet like this for like ever, but for a few months, right? Just to help you get some of the weight off, I think is perfectly fine. Well, now you understand how to actually force your body to burn fat from eating specific diet foods. If your results haven't been so great in the past, then maybe this actually has something to do with it. If you found this video valuable, please do share it with a friend or family member, maybe even on one of your social media pages. I have many other fitness and nutrition tips just like this one, so please do check them out. Until next time, keep it healthy.